Can you turn that light on for me? Oh, that's okay. Hell yeah, turn it on, please. That helped. Thank you. Good evening. Let me check my chat here and make sure it's working. Hey, how you doing, Catherine? Did you get the notification or did you just happen to see me pop up? I think people are getting unsubscribed and they're not getting notifications. Hi, Desiree. People are getting unsubscribed and they're not getting notifications. And my channel is not the only channel that's happening with. It's happening on my other channel as well. I don't know why, but it's happening. YouTube. What can I tell you? They're just, hi, Donna. Hi, Vanessa. Oh, you got a notification. Okay, good, good, good. She said for a change. Yeah, you guys, you have to hello. You got to check. I'm telling you. I have to check too to the channels that I'm subscribed to. I'm just suddenly unsubscribed. I didn't do it and they didn't do it. It's just I don't know what's going on, but anyway, you'll have to check back, from time to time if you're not getting notifications. I try to come on twice a month, you know, live anyway. I was doing videos a lot at one time. Hi, JB. I was doing videos a lot at one time, but I just find that I seem to connect better with you guys if we're just live, if we're like this. So, and also, I wanted you to know that I am available on Skype for anyone who wants to meet with me on Skype. Give me just drop me an email. The email address, my email address is in the description box, and we can set up a time to chat on Skype. I do have group chat on Skype. So if you guys want to meet on a certain day where I can actually see you and you can talk to me, you don't have to just type it in, we can talk. That would be fine. I had offered to do this before and everybody act like they were kind of squeamish about it. I guess some people just feel safer behind the keyboard. I don't know what that's about, but anyway. So good evening. I'm glad you guys are here. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Hi, Carolyn. I'm glad you made it. I didn't know if you got the notification or not, so I sent the text message. Hello, Heavy Bear. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the channel. And listen, if you guys aren't subscribed, go ahead, check, make sure. Hit the subscribe button and click that notification bell if it's still there. That's another weird thing. Other people have been saying that the notification bell on their channel disappeared. So people can't even, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, hey, Shirley. How you doing? I got some stew beef going. I'm going to make some, I ain't going to do it tonight, but I'm cooking the beef tonight, but tomorrow I'm going to have some stroganoff. So anyways, so if you see me going, that's because it's smelling kind of all right in this RV. Let me just tell you. Hi, Linda. How you doing? I'm good. I'm good, Shirley. I'm doing okay. I have a lot of things on my mind that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Heavy Bear says, I've also noticed that various content creators don't have the notification bell. Yeah, what's that about? I don't even know if I have the notification bell. I didn't look at that. But I did notice some people were telling me sometimes they don't get they don't get notified. Now, the last time, that was my fault. The last time I just popped on, right? Oh, sorry. Because I was so strung out busy. I thought, if I don't get on here, I'm not going to get on here at all this month because it was just very, very busy. And anyway, I have a bell. Okay, good. Thank you for checking. Click the bell. Click the bell, you guys. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple things. One is I have been on this channel. I've had this channel since 2016. I thought it was 15. My husband says 16. I thought well, January of 16 is when I went to the hospital and I had my hair was natural at that time. So 2015 is when I started my natural hair journey, I believe. And so I've had my channel since that time. And but I have found that, as time has gone on and I've learned some things, a lot of things, and have grown in my journey as far as my hair goes, because this used to be just a little tiny little knob, that there's not but so many things you can talk about unless you're into weaves and wigs, and you incorporate that kind of stuff into your journey, which I'm not going to do. Now, when I first started out, um I wore wigs sometimes, when I went out, especially when I was living in Canada, which I probably won't be doing anymore because my husband just got his citizenship 2 weeks ago. He's over there. 2 weeks ago. And the part of Canada that I was living in is British Columbia, and it's a rainforest, right? It's literally a rainforest. So it's wet all the time. And I was trying to grow out my perm and grow out the color and all that. And um so in that process, sometimes I would throw on a wig or something like that. But then I started reading these different articles and things about what it actually does to your hair, what relaxers did to your hair, what it did to your scalp, the chemicals that soak into your organs, which is, your skin is the largest organ on your body. And the chemicals and stuff that were soaking in, it just really started to freak me out. Okay. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so, and then I thought about my mom who passed away in 2007. And my mother had beautiful hair, but she always wanted to have it relaxed. She used to use a hot comb, but she always wanted to have it relaxed. I guess as she got older, she just got tired of fooling with it and she wanted something easy. But then she died from Alzheimer's. And I started thinking, wait a minute. I was wondering if the years of her using relaxers, the chemicals soaking into her scalp and into her bloodstream, had anything to do with that. Now, I don't know. I can't say that it did, but I can't say that it didn't either. Right. And if it does cause that, the companies aren't going to tell you anything. You can't trust the FDA anymore, that's for sure. And so, I decided at that point, I don't know what's happening. And then there had started to be this common thread about women, black women that were dying. And when they would do these autopsies on them, there was this something was at the the across the blood brain barrier and was getting into the brain. And it was this weird substance.
Green goo.
It's like, yeah, green goo is what I told my husband's doctor. He was like, "You're kidding." I said, "No, I'm not." And that's when I stopped. I just went cold turkey. I stopped putting relaxers in my hair. I stopped putting color in my hair. I thought, man, if I go like that, I'm going with all my senses. I ain't going like that. So that's what made me go into my natural hair journey. So here I am all these years later, and I've made hundreds, literally, videos about hair. And unless you're incorporating all that other stuff, there's not a whole lot you can say, really, unless you get into the science of it. And I'm not into the science of it. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not a trichologist. I haven't gone to school for it. So I just feel the need to incorporate other things into this channel that aren't just hair related, but it can affect your hair. You know what I mean? Now, if you saw the last um, couple of broadcasts that I've done, I told you guys that I wanted to get away from pharmaceuticals as far away as I possibly could. Because honest to God, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I do not trust the pharmaceutical industry. I just don't. There's too much money to be made, I feel, at your expense and my expense. They could care less about your health, okay? It's all about treat the symptoms, don't cure the disease. Because as long as we treat the symptoms, we can keep pushing the pills, we can keep charging the money, and we can stay rich and they can stay sick. And that's how we keep getting our money. Just keep them sick, keep them alive, but keep them sick. If you understand what I mean. So I've just come to, I feel like I need to be discussing other things other than shea butter on this channel. And so I have gone to where I am trying to, I'm looking into natural herbal medicine. um I'm trying to watch what I'm eating. Now I'm not, let me tell you this, I'm not a dieter. I don't believe in dieting because to me diets are yo-yo. You're up, you're down, you lose, you gain it back, da 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 da. So I just want to try to eat more healthy. I'm not trying to lose a specific amount of weight. I feel like if I work on my clean water intake, clean food, natural remedy remedies, natural medicine, and things like that, then the weight will start to come off on its own because the body will adjust to that. It will use what it needs and it'll discard what it doesn't need. So anyway, that's just where I am in this whole thing. And so I wanted to let you guys know that the channel is going to be changing. So if you're coming to this channel because you only want to hear about hair, you probably should unsubscribe because I'm not going to just talk about hair. I'm going to be talking about other things that can affect your hair. Your overall health will affect your hair. So I feel like I can, in good faith, at this point in my life, just deal with the one issue, right? So there you go. Now, oh, Catherine said, congratulations. Okay, hold on, guys. Let me go read these chats. Hi, Cynthia. Shirley said, congratulations. Desiree says, I have been natural and silver ever since I was 35. I had to learn how to embrace it. And now that I'm 56, all the women want to be silver and natural like me. I know. They even go to the salon and have it put in their hair. I'm like, don't listen, it's coming. Don't worry. Don't rush it. So Desiree says, um, that's what I tell these women putting perms in your hair. Where are those chemicals seeping in? And thank you for saying it's your organs in your, yeah, it is. And it is all about the money. Thank you, Shirley. So I think we need to, you're right, JB says we really need to discuss holistic medicine. Now, thank you for saying that. It's true. Now, let me just say this. I am not a doctor. Okay. The only thing I can tell you guys is the research and the studying that I've been doing. I'm not even a professional herbalist. I am a person who does not want to feed the beast any longer. I don't. I do not want to feed the pharmaceutical companies. Now, having said that, am I still taking pharmaceuticals? Yes, I am. Why is that? Because I have been taking them since 2016 when I had a very, very, very mild heart attack. And they put me on this medication and they're trying to tell me, oh, you have to be on that for the rest of your life. Well, I'm like, well, who says? You ain't God. I don't have to be on the rest of my life. He's the giver of life. He gives life. He takes life. Okay. I'm just going to take care of what he gave me. And it's up to him if he snatches my breath. That's not up to me. And it's not up to a pharmaceutical company either. So I'm still taking it right now, but I'm weaning myself off slowly because I do not want to give myself liver damage, kidney damage, or anything like that because it's a shock to my system because I've been dealing with this stuff for so long that if I just suddenly stop, it's like any other drug. If you just suddenly stop, it can shock your system, right? So I don't want to give myself a heart attack because I'm trying to wean myself off of this. It's not a narcotic. The stuff that I take is not a narcotic. It's stuff to help maintain your blood pressure. Well, you know that there's food that can do that, right? They give me stuff that can help keep your blood vessels supple and dilated. Guess what? There's food that can do that. And I've been doing a study on this stuff. And so that's what I've been doing. Now, let me see. Let me see. Yeah, we do. Let me see. I believe in eating better and eating healthier. Yes. So, having said that, I just wanted to let you guys know where the channel was going. Okay. So, I hope I don't disappoint you. Um, I'm sorry if you are disappointed, but there are a lot. There's a few channels out there that's all they're going to talk about, and they'll incorporate the weaves and the extensions and all that kind of stuff. I'm not into that. I'm not going to do it, and so this probably isn't the place for you. So, moving on. Now, okay. So, what have I been up to lately? Well, one of the things that I have done was I researched. What I did was I lined up the medications that they have me on, which is like four, right? And I was looking today at one of them, and I tell you, there was like it had something like it described three or four things that it does that's beneficial. And then under that, I kid you not, there was like 26 things listed as side effects of this stuff. I'm thinking to myself, in what universe is that okay to give me a medication that has 26 negative repercussions on my body, but three or four that are positive, and somehow my doctor thought that was a good idea? What? So I tried to approach my doctor the last time I went for my annual about holistic medicine, about natural medicine. And let me tell you, these doctors, if they are not trained in both aspects of medicine, they don't want to hear it. Conventional medical doctors always come up with that knee-jerk response of, "Oh, that hasn't been tested." First of all, they haven't even been trained in it. So how do they know if it's been tested or not? So that's their knee-jerk response. That hasn't been tested, or there's not enough laboratory, there's not enough data. You just haven't looked. Because let me tell you, I'm finding data, and I'm finding a lot of it from a lot of doctors, educated people that have gone to school, that have done the test. They can cite the test, they can tell you where to find the information. But you got these people that are hooked into the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, and all in the pharmaceutical companies that are literally being paid to tell you not to take it. Don't do it. Let me give you an example. There's a doctor. Look him up. His name is Dr. Eric Berg, Berg. I think he's an excellent practitioner. Now, I've never had a conversation with this man, but I ran across his channel, and he was listen, I'm surprised the guy is still on YouTube. I'm surprised they haven't canceled him because he just tells the truth. And he tells the truth about, he put out a video not too long ago that said everything that they taught you about healthcare, do the exact opposite. This is a doctor saying this. There's a lot of doctors now that are losing their licenses because they are standing up saying, you guys are being hoodwinked about how you should be taking care of yourself right now. They are lying to you. They are profiting off of your sickness. They are profiting off of fear. They're doing all this stuff because they're making money off of telling you all this stuff, and you're buying into it. And these doctors that have gone to school for years, cost them thousands upon thousands of dollars, have enough credibility to sacrifice their career because they took an oath to do no harm. So they're just walking away from their job saying, I can't do this. I can't tell my patient to take that drug. I can't tell my patient to do this when I know that they have these particular issues. If they take that drug, it may kill them. You know, that's something the pharmaceutical company ain't gonna tell you. They don't care if you die, they're making money off of you. You know, so anyway, yeah, I'll just cast my lot with those folks, you know, the honest people. Anyway, so I've been looking up some stuff. Said all that to say this. My husband had an abscess in his mouth. And I had had one before too. Let me see. Last year, I had a where a crown broke, and then it just got all weird in there. So I knew a little bit. So I made myself a mouth rinse. I made it myself, right? I had done the research. I looked up these particular essential oils that I was going to rinse my mouth with. And I knew that some of them were hot. When I say hot, I mean they'll literally burn you if you don't use a carrier oil with it, like avocado or olive oil or jojoba oil or some other oil to break it up. Whereas you may have, 5 tablespoons of olive oil, but you might only put 1 drop of tea tree oil in it because tea tree is so strong, or 1 drop of clove because it's so strong. So let me just throw something out here to you before I get into what I made. Tea tree oil is a natural antibiotic, and it's an antiviral oil, right? It comes from the tea tree. It's a tree where they get the oil from. And clove, if you can believe this, is how they make Novocaine. You know, you go to the dentist, he sticks the needle back there and just about pokes your brain to make you numb. Yeah, that's clove oil. That's how they make Novocaine. It comes from clove. Okay. Um, which I think clove comes from Indonesia. I'm not sure. But anyway, there is stuff. Listen, all this medication that they've made started from a natural source. Most of, I'd say 70% of it started from a natural source. They take it into a lab and kind of simplify it, but supercharge it. In other words, it loses some properties when they get finished messing with it to turn it into a pill or whatever. And they put the filler in it and they put the coating on it and all this, the binders and all this stuff. And so it does stuff to your system once it gets into your system. Now it might do what it was intended to do, but the binders and the fillers and all that stuff that your body is not, it's foreign to your body. That's what causes all the other reactions and stuff. But if you take it from its natural source and use it that way, then it's a very complex um, uh, thing that your body can recognize, and it will break it down into its components that it needs to be broken down to, right? So anyway, I had this abscess. So I thought to myself, okay, peroxide. I could use peroxide. Peroxide will draw out infection, right? It'll draw out infection. It won't necessarily kill it, but it will draw it out. So I got to do a few things here. So I need something to draw out the infection. I need something to help kill the pain. And I need something that will kill the bacteria that caused the infection. So what do you think I did? I took some distilled water. I put 2 drops of clove oil in 8 ounces of water, or 7 ounces of water. I used a half an ounce of peroxide, and I use 2 drops of tea tree oil. And oregano oil is also a very powerful hot antibiotic oil. It has antibiotic properties. I just put that in some water, y'all. Shook it up, put it in my mouth, rinsed till it foamed up a little bit in my mouth, spit it out, rinsed my mouth with distilled water, went to bed. It popped the abscess, caused it to draw out. I did that for like 3 days to make sure it was killed off at the root, and it was, and it didn't come back. I did not go to a dentist. Now, that's not to say I don't need to go to a dentist. Eventually, I'm going to have something done to this crown. But I'm telling you, there are things that you can do at home that will save you a bundle of money. So now that worked for me. And it killed the pain. I didn't have to take aspirin. I didn't have to take Tylenol. I didn't have to do Motrin. I didn't have to do none of that because it killed the pain. So now, how long did it last? It lasted a few hours and then I rinsed again. So I did it like, I don't know, I did it for 2 or 3 days, maybe two times a day, 2 or 3 times a day, for 2 or 3 days. And it was good. I was good to go. So now I did some more reading. I found out that, now listen to this. If any of you guys are taking something that's called lisinopril or something like that, um, lisinopril is used for high blood pressure, and it helps to relax the blood vessels and all this so that the blood can pass through and it's not a strain on your heart. Well, guess what I found out? I'm not kidding you guys. In reading, cinnamon, Ceylon cinnamon specifically, flat leaf parsley, oregano, and thyme all do the exact same thing as lisinopril. Not kidding. Now that came from a doctor. That ain't coming from me. That came from a doctor who went to school for this stuff. He said it does the exact same thing. So guess what I decided to do? I decided I'm going to make my own lisinopril, and that way I don't have to deal with the binders and the fillers and all this stuff that the pharmaceutical companies put in that pill. Because even though the pill does the job, it also leaves me vulnerable to all these other side effects, right? So you see this right here, this right here, this is oregano. Oh, and olive leaf. Olive leaf. But this right here, oregano and thyme with cinnamon, I made this the 26th of November. And I have on here antibiotic so that I will know what I made it for. But this is what's called a tincture, and I made it with apple cider vinegar and distilled water. That's what I did. So I'm in the process of constructing a book for myself. It's not a book that I'm going to publish. It's just a book for myself. So that as I'm learning this stuff, I type it up and I'm going to put it in a binder so that if we come to a place in our society where we can't get, or people can't get the medications and stuff that they need because China or India has decided, they got to hate on for us because that's where 90% of our medication comes from, and someone needs something, I can tell them what to do, or maybe I can help them out on how to do this stuff. So, well, now let me read some of this. Okay. Dr. Berg is a chiropractor, but he's also a naturopath doctor. So he doesn't just adjust bones and muscle. He is a licensed naturopathic doctor as well. Yes, it's true, says Desiree. I have leukemia, but because of God, I don't have to take any medicine, and I don't have to take any blood transfusions, and I have to, and oops, wait a minute. This thing is scrolling pretty quick here. And I have to take no chemo. It's all about the relationship with you and God. That's true. That is true. And let's see. So Carolyn says, when I was a girl, I remember using clove oil for toothaches. Yeah. Came with a little tweezer like utensil, tiny little cotton balls to be immersed in the oil and temporary relief with tea. Yes. Celery is also good for regulating high blood pressure. Celery seed is excellent for gout. How do I know that? Because my husband had gout and his doctor in Canada was a conventional medicine doctor, but he was also a naturopath doctor. So, and I just love it when doctors are trained in both sides of medicine. Anyway, his doctor told him celery seed. He was like, what? Celery seed. So I think it was his doctor.
He told me the little blue and white.
Oh, that's right. His doctor told him to take this little blue and white pill, but the blue and white pill made him feel all fuzzy in the head. So anyhow, he found out somehow that celery seed had the properties in it that did something to break up the lactic acid or whatever it is that gets stored up in the joints that causes that inflammation, usually in the foot. And he just took a handful of celery seed,
About a
couple.
teaspoon.
He said a teaspoon. Well, I have seen you dump it in your hand, like, oh, and it took care of it, folks. I'm telling you, look into something. If you're taking a medication for something, I'll show you what I'm doing here. One of the things that they had me doing uh, for blood pressure was hydrochlorothiazide. Now, when I got to Canada, funnily enough, and I had to take my physical to get into the country, the doctor asked me, "Why do they have you taking this?" I said, "I'm the patient. I don't know." He says, "We don't use this here." Well, listen, this is what they're using in the United States. Uh, he says, "This is outdated medicine. We have better stuff now." Well, yeah, they always say it's better. Anyway, I found out hawthorn. Hawthorn is a berry. It's a bush. It's a tree. It grows berries. The berries have the properties in it that do the exact same thing as hydrochlorothiazide, except it's natural. It's natural. The berries, the leaves, all of it is medicinal. All of it, right? So I found out, how do I do that? How do I turn that into my own medicine? So you know what I did? I turned it into my own medicine. So here this is. This is not this bottle. I have a big bottle. I poured this into here so I could transport it. But this, how I made hawthorn for myself was 2 cups of berries that I got organic. Everything that I'm using is organic from a reputable company. 2 cups of berries, 2.5 cups of 100 proof vodka. You don't have to use vodka. You can use apple cider vinegar. Okay. Some people use, because you're not drinking this, folks. Okay, let me just tell you, you won't get drunk and you ain't going to go to hell if you take medicine. When you take cough medicine, it has alcohol in it too. Okay, so don't get religious on me. Anyway, these droppers are metered. In other words, when you squeeze on them, it doesn't matter how hard you squeeze, it's only going to take up a certain amount of medicine. That's it. That's what they're designed to do. I put 1, 2, 3 drops of this that I made into a quarter bottle of water this morning. I told my husband, I said, I want to see, because before I just took the whole dropper and I was like, woo, man, I felt it when it hit my system. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. I thought, let me cut back on that a bit because I'm trying to find the dose that's right for me. So what I did was I put 3 drops in a quarter bottle of water. And I thought, let me up it a bit because I counted the drops that came out of the metered dropper and it was 18. So I thought, okay, let me just do 6 drops rather than the whole dropper. So I put 6 drops, not droppers, drops, 6 drops in a quarter bottle of water, 5 ounces, 4 ounces of water, shook it up. You can't even taste it. I drank the water. I waited an hour and my blood pressure dropped 10 points in 1 hour. Uh, now I had a little bit of a rush there for a minute, but for the most part, it dropped. I hadn't taken any other medications, nothing. I hadn't eaten anything. I just did that, drank the water, and checked my pressure in an hour, and it had dropped 10 points. Yay, says I, because mine hangs out around 140. So it dropped, right? They don't want mine to go over 140. Okay, so it dropped down to 130. I was like, that's good. And that's what I'm saying. All I did, now I have two kinds that I did. One is in apple cider vinegar, one is in 100 proof vodka. Now, why would I use vodka? Because when you're an herbalist, which I'm not, I'm just doing this. But anywhere you read, when you talk about making tinctures, which is what this is called, a tincture, you need something, a solvent to draw the medicinal properties out of the fruit that you're using. Alcohol is a very good substance that can do that. I promise you, you will not go to hell if you put 3 drops of medicine in your mouth that has alcohol in it, and it doesn't even taste like it. I mean, it tastes like the berries to me. On the other hand, there's 2 other ways. Like I said, you can make it. Some people just do not want to do the alcohol at all. I get it. I understand that. I'm not a drunk. I don't have a fancy for drinking, so that's it's not my thing. But anyway, um, you do the same thing, but you substitute the alcohol with raw apple cider vinegar. But it does take, now when you're making this stuff, it takes about, some people say 2 weeks, other people say 6 weeks. I do 6 weeks just to make sure it's drawn everything out. And I use dry herbs, right? Some people are growing their own oregano and all that stuff. I'm not growing my own. So I have to get mine organic and dry from the internet, right? From companies that I trust. So that's what I do. You can also make it with vegetable glycerin, food grade vegetable glycerin. It will do the exact same thing as alcohol, but vegetable glycerin is sweet. So that's why when you see elderberry cough syrup and stuff like that, it's made with vegetable glycerin. If you read the box, that's what you'll see on there. It doesn't have alcohol in it, but the glycerin will do the exact same thing that the alcohol does. That is better suited for a person who does not want to take in any alcohol, who can't tolerate the taste of apple cider vinegar, and wants to give it to a child. Right, it's good for children because they like the sweet taste. Also, vegetable glycerin will not spike your blood sugar. So if you're diabetic, it won't mess with your blood sugar at all. It won't touch it at all because your body will process it the way it's supposed to. So I know I sound like a doctor. I'm not. I'm just telling you that's how much reading and studying I've been doing. So, okay, let's see here. Make a booklet. JB says make a booklet. It will compensate you for a copy. Oh Lord, that's a lot. You know what? I was just telling Chris yesterday, I think it was. I said, I'm trying to make a book, but I don't know what I want to put in it. Um, I think I would have to put, if I made a booklet that I was going to let other people buy from me, it would be a booklet, y'all. It wouldn't be nothing fancy, okay? Um, I would have there to me there would be a lot of information I'd have to put in there. And I don't know if I want to take the time to do all that because for me, I can just reference it or bookmark it on my computer and know how to get back to what I was looking for. But if I got to type it all out, it's like, oh my goodness, I don't know. That's a lot of time. And then I would definitely have charged for that one. Anyway, uh, tell you the name again of what, Cynthia? You wanted to know the name? I mean, well, I think the I can't. You know what? I'm not exactly sure the difference between a tincture and an extract. I know I read it, but I just can't recall right now exactly what the difference is. I think maybe the extract is the finished product. I'm not sure, but anyway, but this is, I just call it a. I guess a tincture is, I don't know. Look it up for me. What is the difference between a tincture and an extract? My husband gonna look it up. So now, um, also for an antibiotic, let me get back to that for a minute. I looked online and I saw that oregano, thyme, and olive leaf are very, very good at fighting viruses and bacteria. So I made an antibiotic solution that has that in it. Now I couldn't, the olive leaf that I was wanting to use were the actual leaves that came from olive trees that had been dried. And but it was going to take too long to get here. And so I bought olive leaf, organic olive leaf powder. So I decided to get that instead. I just added it to my tincture and gave it a shake, and it worked. I mean, it really did.
The difference is the liquid that is used. An extract might use any liquid, such as glycerin, vinegar, oil, or even water. A tincture is an extract that uses alcohol as
Yeah.
the liquid that the herbs are infused into. In other words, all tinctures are extracts, but not all extracts are tinctures.
Did y'all hear that? So all tinctures are
Extracts,
extracts, but
but
not
not
all
all
extracts
extracts are
are tinctures.
tinctures.
Okay.
Alcohol.
Right. So tinctures are only made with alcohol, and extracts can be made with glycerin, or apple cider vinegar or alcohol. So that's the difference. There you go. Thank you. Okay. Uh, do you know of anything to prevent and pass a kidney stone? That's not, yeah, it's interesting that you asked that question because my husband has suffered with that before. Do I know of anything to prevent? Well, one of the things that I know can help create kidney stones is a specific type of a diet. Diets that are rich in red meat and stuff like that. If your body can't process it quick enough, then it piles up in your kidneys. Everything has to pass through there. It's a filter, right? And so I think apple cider vinegar, lemon water, things that are slightly acidic like that helps to keep things moving through. Okay, so now I'm just telling you that because that's what my husband was told after he passed his kidney stone was, and he did pass it. He didn't have to have it surgically removed or anything. Was that he needed to take in apple cider vinegar to help break down stuff more, uh, to break things down better in in his system so it doesn't get hung up in there like that. So that's what I would say. That's what they told him. So uh what did I make for my blood pressure? Okay. I made hawthorn. I made a hawthorn tincture. This is a tincture because it's made with alcohol. So with this, not in this small thing. Now I told you guys this came from a bigger. I use a mason jar like for canning. It's a 1 quart jar, and that's what I made it in. And what I did was I used what they call the folk method, FOLK, the folk method. The folk method doesn't use exact measurements. Um, the scientific method does. The folk method does not. So I mean, they can get it down to a pin in a lab. I don't have a lab, so what I did with mine was I used the 2 cups of hawthorn berries. I used 2.5 cups of 100 proof vodka, and this tincture, right? And on here, I also put on here what it's for and how much that I need to take. So I put 1 dropper in water 1 time per day. And I put the date on here that I made it. Okay. So it's like I'm prescribing stuff for myself because I know what works for me. Now, I may change this to 6 drops per day, or I may do 1/2 dropper twice a day. I'm going to check my blood pressure again, maybe in an hour or two to see is it still at a good place. And if it's not, then I know, okay, I'll break this up into twice a day because the medication that they had me taking, I was taking it twice a day. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Did you see what I did there? So, so if I have to take 1 dropper a day, then I can split this and take half in the morning and half in the evening, say after dinner or something like that. Yeah, and I'll just change my label or change it in my book. So the other thing, you ain't gonna believe this one either. Has anybody ever heard of stingweeds? When I was Listen, when I first got my house, you're welcome. when I first got my house, not when I first got it, but after I'd been there a couple years, I tell you, I had weeds that were coming up around my bushes that were just getting on my nerves. Weeds, 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 weeds. I'm plowing them down. I'm using Roundup. That's before I knew it was killing me. And I'm doing all this stuff trying to get rid of these weeds in my yard. The dandelions, the whole 9 yards. I'm trying to get rid of all of it. Oh my gosh. Listen, folks, you have medicine growing in your yard that the Bayer Company or Roundup or whoever will tell you, here, buy our product. Get rid of those nasty weeds. Kill that stuff. Yeah, you know why? Because it's medicine. That's why. I just found that out. I told my husband, who knew? I sure didn't. I sure did not know. So let me tell you, stingweed. Stingweed. You know, literally, you try to grab it with your hands and it stings. And if you snap it, then this white milky stuff comes out of it. Yeah. You know what that is? That's a sedative. Honest to God, I wouldn't lie to you. It's a sedative. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I could have been rich. All them weeds I killed. And at the time I was raising geese and they were always running after those weeds. And now I know why. They had better sense than me. My geese was getting lifted. Anyway, that weed is called wild lettuce. Look it up. Look it up. I wouldn't lie to you. Wild lettuce. Now, this one I bought. Okay, so it looks like this. It's wild lettuce. This is by Sunflower Botanicals. And it says pure herbal extract. This is 2 ounces. And let me see if I can see this. It says serving size 16 drops. Well, I got news for you. Okay. My husband put 16 drops in him. And he's like, boom, that stuff hit him. It's all natural. It's all natural. And this is, and all it's in here is wild lettuce. That's it. Lettuce, distilled water, and 30 to 40% alcohol. They used a 1-to-3 ratio. In other words, if they had 1 cup of wild lettuce, then they used 3 cups by volume of alcohol to make their tincture. So that's the 1-to-3. That's what they did. Mine was like 1 to, the jury's still out on it, 1-to-2. Mine was 1-to-2. So, but this is like it's like a pain reliever and a sleep aid, and it's non-narcotic. I'm telling you guys, they have us killing stuff in our yards, killing dandelions, all these dandelions, all these weeds. We're ripping them about, and they don't care. They don't care that we're ignorant to it. So I don't have dandelions anymore because I killed them all off because I did not know any better. I did not know. So now I know. Now when I see a dandelion, guess what? The whole plant is edible. You can eat the whole thing or you can turn it into medicine. The whole thing, right down to the root. Did anybody know that? Because I didn't. I just found that out. So there you go. Okay, let's see. I'm let me catch up with y'all stuff here. You hope I write the book. Oh. I used to go hiking, and the guy that was a hiking instructor would tell us certain medicines that were in the woods, yes, that we could use. That's right. Listen, you would be surprised. And especially when I came from Canada, and I told you guys I lived in a rainforest. Can you imagine living in an area where you're surrounded with the woods, flowers, plants, trees, shrubs, all this kind of stuff? I said, there shouldn't be anybody in Canada that lives in British Columbia that starves because you're surrounded by food and medicine all the time. You know what it is? They don't know it. They're just walking through saying, oh, this is beautiful. Oh, we're out in nature. Yeah, look at all this food and medicine God gave you. And you're just walking through it like it's just something nice to look at. That's what I did. I didn't know any better. Right back here beside our coach in the field behind us. We came back from Canada and there were weeds up to my head out there, right? I didn't know what that stuff was. I had never seen it before. Well, there was two different things growing out there. One was called mare's tail, which I haven't done a whole lot of research on. The other one was called horsetail. I thought, what the heck is horsetail? So I looked up horsetail. You know what horsetail is? It's aspirin. That's what horsetail is. We It was all growing in our field here when we got back that somebody was supposed to maintain for us. We had the city come in and mow the whole thing down because I didn't know that I was sitting on a field of natural aspirin. Who knew? I did not know. I'm kind of mad about this. So now I know. So what did I have to do? Well, now I had to go and order some organic horsetail from the internet to make a tincture so that I could have some aspirin. Because guess what? They put me on a low dose aspirin when I had that mild heart attack back in 2016 that I've been taking every single day since then. I don't want to take it anymore because what's holding the aspirin together? Some weird binder or filler or something that they got in that little pill to keep it together. It's not a powder, it's a pill. Something's holding it together and it ain't natural, right? That's the stuff that gives you the symptoms and the side effects, the stuff that they put in it to hold it together. The Bayer Company discovered aspirin in horsetail back in the early 1900s. That's when they discovered it. That's when aspirin was born. Bayer aspirin. That's where they got it from. You can look it up. The history of it is right there on the internet. I was mad when I realized I cut down a whole field of aspirin. Who knew? I did not know. So, it's to their advantage that we stay ignorant. It's to their advantage, it's to their profit that we don't know, that we go out, that we buy the roundup and we buy all this other stuff and we just killing all kinds of stuff because we want our yard to look nice. And all this. You know what? That stuff is medicine and it's food, and you should learn about it because when you can't get to the store, or like I started out by saying, when India or China decides they don't like the US anymore and they don't want to give us any more medication, it's in your yard. Go get it. It's in your backyard. It's on the side of your house. Go get it, right? Seriously, folks. We got to learn this stuff because if we don't, you're gonna be up the creek without a paddle. That oregano and that stuff that you're buying from the store, buy organic. Yes, it costs a little bit more, but if you're not in a position where you can grow it because you're in a small apartment or something like that, when you buy it, buy organic. Why? Because if you need to make a medicine out of it, you have enough to season your food and you have enough to make medicine. You can do both, right? I'm just saying. Where am I? Let's see. Hello, Marilyn. She says she's from Maryland. Hello, Marilyn. Uh, well, thank you. Thank you, Kiki says she loves my channel. Thank you very much. Amber, how'd you not know? did you? She said she didn't know I was live. You didn't get a notice? Because some people said they got a notice. You got to check and make sure that notification thing, if it's clicked and you didn't get a notice, unclick it and re-click it, reset it, because I don't know why that's happening. It's happening to other people too. Okay, JB says in my grandmother's backyard there was a bush called Life Everlasting. That thing is so potent. It's now illegal in South Carolina. I see why she didn't destroy. What did she use it for? That's funny. What did she use it for? I'd like to hear about that. I'm gonna look that one up. That must be something else. They must have found out, ooh, your grandmother was on to something that was gonna put them out of business. Oh my gosh. Lord Jesus. So yeah. So right now, let me tell you what I got going. I have a quart jar, and I was looking up. Okay, let's just say my husband is accident prone. He has a tendency to I mean, he'll be working his butt off outside. He's hammering this and he's sawing that and he's cutting this and cutting that. Next thing you know, he's cut. And I thought, I need something for him. I need something that will keep him from picking up an infection somewhere. So I'm looking this up. Okay. Other than the internal stuff, like, the oregano and the thyme and all that, I thought, what can I do? So, comfrey. I thought, what's comfrey? I'm looking up comfrey, reading about comfrey. Okay. Comfrey is called knit bone. Now, that sounds weird, but is actually translated knit bone. And a lot of Native American tribes used it for broken bones and stuff like that. Now, comfrey, some people use it as a tea. The jury is still out on it because my understanding is it can be very, very hard on the liver. It could be toxic if you take too much of it. Well, what's too much of it? Well, who knows, right? So, um, a conventional doctor is not going to tell you anything about comfrey. They're just going to give you some antibiotics, set your bone, wrap you up, put you on crutches, and send you on your way. That stuff that I got over there in that jar is I used dehydrated organic comfrey. And what I did was, now this is an infusion. This is not alcohol. It's not apple cider vinegar because I don't intend to ingest it. And I actually put on my label for external use only, right? So this is to bind up wounds. It has been scientifically proven to bind a wound in 3 days. I mean, it knits your skin. It causes the cells to grow back together very quickly. Now, this isn't for deep, deep wounds where, it's not for that, okay? Because the reason that they caution you about using it for a very deep wound is because if the wound has not been sufficiently cleaned out, it'll cause the skin and everything to close up over it. But now you've got this infection going on under the skin, right? So they recommend that you do it just like for surface cuts and things like that, but not for something that would go all the way down to the bone. Now, what I decided to do was I'm making an infusion right now that I'm going to turn into a salve. And hold on just for a second. Can you get that for me? Can you get that quart jar for me? I'll show you guys. I had to get a better seal for it because every time I shook it up, I had oil coming out all over me. But it looks messy. Sorry about that. And you can see where I shook it up and the oil was coming out because I didn't have it screwed on tight enough. But anyhow, this jar is filled up to here, right? I decided to use avocado oil when I made this. Can I get a paper towel? I decided to make this with avocado oil. So what's in here, thank you, is this is comfrey leaves. Now I'll just tell you what my recipe was on here. Woo, if I can hold it without it slipping out my hand. Hold on, y'all. It's really greasy. Yeah, it spilled out on me when I tried to shake it up. The cap wasn't on it tight enough. Okay. This is, you ready? Put yes in there if you're ready. I'm looking at the chat box. I don't want to go too fast. You ready? Y'all ready? Okay, I'm going anyway. Okay, so this is 2 cups of, hi Pat. This is 2 cups of comfrey leaves. This is dehydrated. These are dried leaves, okay? Organic dried leaves. 17 ounces of avocado oil, organic avocado oil. I put 1 teaspoon of eucalyptus oil, 1 teaspoon of vitamin E for preservative. Vitamin E acts as a preservative. 1 teaspoon of clove oil. I did that for pain because I told you it's like Novocaine, right? And 2.5 teaspoons of lavender because lavender helps you to relax. So what this is for, this is going to be like a body um a a salve. What I'm going to do is once I strain this out, when I strain all the leaves out, I made this on the 29th of November. But once I strain all the leaves out, and how I'll do that is through a fine mesh strainer, and I'll use a linen cloth, very tight woven linen cloth that I squeeze. I'm also buying an herbal press that's just for that, to be able to press the leaves and stuff, press the oil out without losing very much of it. And so, what this is going to turn into is going to be a salve. I'm going to put this, heat it up, not to a boil, just to where it's warm. Then I will add some beeswax to it, some organic beeswax, and pour it into sterile jars. And once I do that, let it cool overnight. Like when you heat it, don't put the top on it because it'll make steam. You do not want water in this. When it's cooling off, leave the top off. You don't want any condensation in it. And once it cools off, it'll be a solid, like a lip balm or something. And you just take some of that and you rub it on. It's good for arthritis and stuff like that. Achy joints, that's what this is good for. So I haven't tried it yet because it's still brewing. But I have on here comfrey infusion for arthritis pain for external use only. That's what I have. I'm going to change this label though. And I have for muscle and joint pain, rub on affected area 2 times a day as needed. Those are my instructions to myself. So, anyhow, I'm not a doctor, you guys. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. So every day, I just shake it to make sure that the oil is pulling out the properties out of the leaves, and the other oils are being mixed in like it needs to be. So, okay. Well, I don't want to keep you guys too long, but I wanted to let you know that I am doing other things with the channel that I think is just important as taking care of our hair. Just taking care of the rest of us is just as important. So there you go. So, anybody have any questions before I let you guys go? And let me tell you about this again. This wild lettuce, which I'm also making. My husband says I have my own apothecary in the house. But this wild lettuce, um, they call this nature's opium. It is not an opiate. It does not have opium in it. Let me stress that. But it has a calming uh, sedative effect like an opiate drug would. The problem with the opiate drugs is that they're addictive. This isn't addictive. So you see what I'm saying? You don't have you don't have all the crazy side effects and stuff and that the pharmaceutical companies will push on you because they want you to buy their product. So anyway, this stuff is just safer, I think, for me and my family. This is what we're going to be doing, and I hope you guys will consider doing something like that. For your own family, that you would consider just doing more natural things, looking into more natural, more holistic things, um, so that you're not stuck taking in chemicals and things that will over time destroy your kidneys or destroy your liver or destroy your. It's a temporary thing that they'll keep pushing on you and pushing on you. My doctors are telling me, oh, you'll never be able to come off this medication. Well, why not? I wasn't always on it before. So as a matter of fact, they told me there was absolutely no damage to my heart, none. So why would I have to stay on that for the rest of my life if my heart was functioning the way it was supposed to? Just think about that. What would be the reason for that? And let me share one more quick story with you. Several years ago, um, I go through the VA for my medical. Several years ago, this doctor told me, your cholesterol is a little bit high. I want to put you on this medication to bring your cholesterol down. I said, okay. So he prescribes this medication. And on the way home from post, I was thinking, I need to go online and see what is a natural remedy for that. And I went online, and you know what it said? Oatmeal. Oatmeal. I hate oatmeal. But that's what it said. Oatmeal. I thought, ugh. Now I'm a meat and potatoes girl. Okay. So that's my thing. I gotta watch how much potatoes I'm taking in, uh, how much carbs and all that I'm taking in. So I decided, let me see if there's anything to this. Now, if you go online and you look at conventional medical websites, they may tell you that, the whole thing of using oatmeal to lower cholesterol is like, there's not enough data. That's their knee jerk response. That's their fallback to keep you coming to them to get drugs. I decided rather than eating uh, bacon and eggs or whatever every morning, 5 days a week, I was going to skip that 3 days a week and eat a small bowl of oatmeal. Ugh. I'll go make myself do it. He wanted to see me back in 6 weeks. I said, okay. He gave me the prescription. I never got it filled. I refused. I didn't tell him that. I just didn't do it. So I got home. I thought, okay, starting tomorrow, I'm gonna make a bowl of oatmeal, but I'm gonna have to put something in this. some some cinnamon and some brown sugar and some other stuff so I can eat it. All right. So let's say I started on a Monday. So I ate oatmeal Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The rest of the time I ate whatever I wanted to, right? Did that for 6 weeks. I went back. They did another blood test. I got a call. You never want to get a call from your doctor, but I got a call. And he was just as happy as a tick on a dog. He just went into this whole spiel about how the medicine had worked wonders for me and how my bad cholesterol had dropped 79 points and it was a miracle. And this drug really, really worked for me. And I need to stay on it. It's doing a good job. And business. I just let him talk. And then I said, can I tell you something? He said, sure, what's that? I said, I didn't take a single pill. All I did was change my diet. Why didn't you tell me that? Why didn't you tell me that all I needed to do was change my diet? Why did you put me on a pill? Why did you want me to take a pill? You know what he said? You have to take the medicine. I said, are you hearing yourself? Do you even hear yourself? I just told you that all I did was change my diet. You told me that my cholesterol dropped an astounding 79 points, and you're still trying to push a pill on me? I never want to see you again. And I called the VA and said, I don't want that doctor anywhere near my file. He's a drug lord, he's a pill pusher, and I don't want him nowhere in my life. I fired him. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So I'm telling you that just because they're wearing a white coat and been to school doesn't mean they're looking out for you. Okay. So I'm just saying. Just saying. Okay. Let me get off my soapbox. Ooh, that smells good. Anyway. All right, you guys. Anxiety med, lavender. I would use lavender for anxiety, but I can look up something, and there's things you can do. There's essential oils, things that you can take in as an aromatherapy. Aromatherapy is a real thing. It really is. Um, but there's other things that you have to do too in regard to anxiety. What's causing you to be anxious, right? If you got people in your life that's getting on your nerves, just try to limit your contact with them. There's things that you can do. Some people may have to change jobs, or whatever you got to do to change your environment. And then, of course, for those of you that are my Christian friends on here, The scriptures will tell you that whatever things are lovely and pure and just and of a good report, think on those things, right? Don't let your mind stay in a negative place. Negative stuff happens. That's life. We can't do nothing about that. But like my pastor used to say, you can't stop a bird from flying over your head, but you can stop him from building a nest in it, right? So just don't think on negative things too long. Stuff happens, you deal with it when it happens, you put it in God's hands, and you move on. That's what you do. Otherwise, you will have a miserable existence in this miserable place. You really will. And that is not God's abundant life. That's not how He wants us to live. So, how much lavender? It depends. See, I need to call you. But anyway, you need to write me. Write me, Shirley. Write me at my email address and I can call you. Give me your phone number and I will call you. We can talk because you can make, listen, just call me. Okay. All right. That's right, Carolyn. Scripture does matter. You have problems falling asleep. I'm telling you. Wild lettuce. Wild lettuce. What else can help you fall? This man, there's a chamomile. I have two chamomile tinctures going. One apple cider vinegar, and the other one is with alcohol. And in one of the chamomiles, I have what do I have in there? I think I have lavender, and I think I have valerian root in there. So there's different things. You can easily Google this stuff and see what natural herbs are good for sleep. Whatever, however you want to ask the question, if you Google it, it will tell you what herbs are best for this and what herbs are best for that. Now, you talk to 100 different herbalists and they'll give you, there's thousands upon thousands of natural remedies out there, right? So it's a matter of picking one that works for you. Okay. So anyhow, you guys, I hope I didn't rant and lose my mind too much. But I just wanted to let you know, first and foremost, that the channel is changing and I will be incorporating this kind of stuff along with hair stuff. If I decide to do my hair on camera, something like that, you'll know. But most of all, I think our mental health, our psychological, emotional health, and our physical health is what's going to get us through the time that we're living in right now because it's crazy. Okay, it's crazy. I'm not going crazy with it. So I'm making some adjustments in my life. The way I approach life and how I'm taking care of myself is changing. And I think we need to do that. What about my political channel? Amber is always trying to get me in trouble. That's on the other channel. Y'all go to the other channel, the Krista Pat's Adventure and Homestead channel. That's when I might talk about political stuff over there. I try to keep Amber is subscribed to that channel too. You are crazy as a loon, girl. She always trying to get me to say stuff on here. Go over there. I ain't doing it. You are welcome, Carol. You're very welcome. Okay, Shirley, I'll look for it. I'll look for your text message. And let's see. Good for you, Desiree. You stop using butter? It's okay to use butter if you use grass fed butter, right? Don't just use regular butter. If you use butter, make sure it came from a grass fed cow because they process it differently in their stomachs than grain fed. It's different. It's completely different. So, okay, let's see. She wants me to go live. I did go live on that channel. I did. Autoimmune. Yeah, it depends. It depends. But listen, I'm telling you, go to Dr. Berg's channel. Yes, he's a chiropractor, but he's also a certified herbalist. I'm telling you, the man's brilliant. Okay. He's brilliant. He's not the only doctor that I've looked at, but I have shared his channel with a lot of people. I ran across things on there. He deals with autoimmune diseases and stuff, and he'll tell you how he's very big on keto, which I have not tried. Well, maybe we did try that. I don't think the doctor that we were dealing with at the time was calling it keto. Um, he was just calling it a plant-based diet. I'm not vegan. I do eat meat. So that it did not work for me. It's just that I don't know what happened with it. I think I got bored with it or something happened with it. But anyway, if you go to Dr. Berg's channel, he talks about autoimmune disease and stuff like that and how to try to turn things around or alleviate some of the problems that come with it. So anyhow, check that out. Hi, Sunshine. So I guess that's it for now, ladies. I've also got what else do I have going? Um See, I'm not there right now. I have a shelf that I've got little bottles and jars and stuff on of stuff working. I'm working on elderberry tincture, um, elderberry syrup, ready for flu season, sore throats and all that good stuff. I'm not buying no more cough medicine. I'm gonna make my own. I've got the glycerin, the food grade glycerin, organic, non-GMO. Make sure it says non-GMO, and that you don't want stuff that's been chemically modified and all that. Oh my God, they're just trying to poison us. Anyway, I'm leaving before I start talking about stuff that I don't want to talk about on this channel. Thank you guys for coming. I am so sorry I kept you 15 minutes longer than what I had planned to. Um, but thank you for hanging out tonight. I appreciate it, and it's been kind of fun. I've been trying to keep up with you all's chats. I think I might have gotten most of them read. But make sure you go over to the other channel, and it is called the Krista Pat's Adventure and Homestead channel. If you go to the on this channel, go to the main page. Up on the right hand side, you'll see a little link up there, a little icon up there that will take you to that channel if you click on it. And if you go over there and you click on videos, you'll see the latest videos that I did. I just put one up. One just came out today for that channel. So, and you'll see my husband's he when he got his citizenship a couple of weeks ago. I recorded that and I put that up there. They didn't let me go in. What a bummer. But anyway, you can see about all that over there because I was feeling some kind of way and not being able to go in. My goodness. So, all right, you guys. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you the next time I come on. If you have questions about this stuff, send me your questions, and I will see what I can find out. If it's something that I'm working on, I'll let you know. And if not, I'll let you know. And I'll see you next time I come on. Have a good evening. God bless you. Take care and keep it natural. Bye.